The Hebrew text in the Bible has hidden formats. By revealing these formats, I will prove the first writer's words were hidden from you. These formats look like poetry as I group them into small paragraphs. Their grouping will become known as a psalm, and together they become psalms. Let me show you our Creator's 12 commandments, listed in Exodus chapter 20, verses 1 through 17. Any father of a family or his wife who did not obey any one of these 12 commandments, our Creator demanded they bring him a sin offering. Thus, our Creator defined the word sin as not obeying any one of these 12 commandments. Next, I want to show you how I changed one word in Exodus 26, verse 26, the word bars to arches, and the words now reveal the style of the roof for our Creator's tent for meeting with Him. Let me show you the translator's words from the preface of the 1611 King James Bible. They gave 4 reasons for themselves or others to edit the Bible's words. The red arrow at the top points to their 3rd reason to edit the text. By the light and feeling we attained unto ourselves. The next red arrow down points to them giving the title, the Divine, to a clerk named Gregory. The next block of words, they point out they were happy that the first emperor of Rome established the year to the course of the sun. Behind this text means Nebuchadnezzar ordered his kingdom to follow our Creator's calendar when he stopped eating grass. The last arrow points to your reward for studying the Bible. Your reward is to have a fellowship with the saints and participation of a heavenly nature that will never fade away. There is no such thing as nature to a truthful Christian. Our Creator created everything. Not everyone has the knowledge to correct every word. I have an old Bible program that has the New American Standard Bible 1977 concordance to help find a better word. Their concordance has the number of times they use that English word in a parenthesis for that Hebrew word. The translators removed his name, YHVH, to put in 2 titles, Lord and God. I replaced those titles using the letters Y and V as his name, for the Hebrew language does not have a J, O, or W. By using these 2 letters, I am closer to the truth than anyone using J, O, or W for his name. No proper English was used. The blue highlighted text is text that I am removing. The red highlighted words are little words that I'm adding. Gray italic words are words that I added. To respect and honor our Creator, all capital letters in purple are our Creator's words. This is Jesus' prophecy, for I am revealing the first writer's words to tell you the true truths about Jesus. Their words will take your belief to trusting our Creator. You will be watching prophecy before your eyes as I edit true truths back into their psalms. Okay, I guess I'm live. Nope. Okay, now I think I'm live. All right, maybe I messed up there. But this will be Jeremiah 7 or 6, because I did 5 the other day. No, this is 6. I'm going to do 7. I'm sorry. I've got everything set up and I forgot it. Okay, this is what I found yesterday. Okay, and the text here is a 4-verse format, as you can see, which means this verse has a comma at the end, and this would be the period after it. So what happens is this makes a small paragraph, and then you'll see I have to space them apart because when I find them that are connecting together, I do this, put only 1 space, and then these are 2 small paragraphs that make a larger paragraph. This one, I have no other paragraph for. I got to figure out if there's a piece missing someplace in Jeremiah that can go there, or do I just put those, like you see this line here, for 4 lines. But this is the text. I have question about whether I'm going to be using that, but I don't want to throw anything out, so I really try to look at it when I break it down like this, then go over, reread it a few times to see if the text is very smooth when it's reading, or is there confusion. The writing style of the writer I call read tasting, and you can tell who's writing something different. And it just, when you read it, it just doesn't taste right, I guess is the best way I can say it. Now, who is Jeremiah? Whoops, bring it forward. Jeremiah is a prophet, and his lifespan that we know about, or I know about, is he's with the remnant after they go into Babylon. So after these 10 years, there's going to be at least, I'm estimating, another 10 years, which makes him about 60. Or I could say he was born before then. And then what I would say here is that the only text so far says he appears to this king as a prophet here in the 13th year. Okay, so 13th year, does that mean he's only 13 years old and he was born the same time? So if we say he's 20, then I have to put him back into here. He was born here and then goes for here. And then usually the lifespan now would be about 63, 65, 67. And usually that's a very long time but our Creator did allow the prophet and the king and the priest to live a little longer because they were on to him. So they got to see their grandchildren or children before them. So, or way after them. So now you know what's going on. Now you also have to notice that Israel is already taken into captivity by Assyria. But the battle was that this guy approached King Hezekiah at the gate, and Isaiah sent him away by hearing a rumor, and that was a battle between now Assyria and Babylon to who is going to win the nation or win that kingdom. Now the thing here is that all of this tells us that how long did the battles take and how long did they have to go through, because we know Babylon's the winner, but Turkey is nothing but full of mountains. So when you look at that, the battle could be longer. So I don't try to say that it's going to happen immediately. I usually try to like to say it about 10, 15 years later, they would know. Now that's very important for the simple fact that when I get into the text of showing the text not saying from Babylon, that might mean that the text is not written by Jeremiah and it has to go someplace else. So keep that in mind, because I've got two stories already that I know that it says from the north and not using the word Babylon. Okay, now I can start editing the text. And let me see here. I can put up, these are what I've found so far in other books. And I've started to compile them. So they are in order, but mainly the books that I have are really from the returning. So it'd be after Daniel. When I did the smaller prophets, I found them going back many years, like some before David. So the text here is just something to look at to show you what I'm looking for as I do these. His word, and that's how I get rid of the text. I do that. Say I'm not going to use that. Came not to Jeremy, but through Jeremy. Jeremy then turned around and told us what our Creator told him. So to replace a word, I do it like this. If I'm adding a word, you'll see it'll be italic. So when I take care of all my editing marks, those will still be in italic. But from here, this seems to be reading out of place. Because I don't, the format that I'm looking for, I guess I should also explain, whoops, is that what you're seeing here is one major word here and one major word here. And see, I've only got one here and one here. But here I've got one and I got two. So what I'm thinking is that this group needs to be moved up here. So if I just put a note here, move up one verse, and then get rid of the boldness on it. Now move up one verse. So now I'll take this and I will make it 8 point, and then I'll put it here, and it's going to end up reading words or it could be a prophecy from YV. I haven't read it yet. So right now I'm going to use it as words and say this, and I've added this from YV so I can, like this. I guess I need to do that just so the eyes line up when people look at it later. Words from YV came through Jeremiah. Now I'm going to put a hashtag, and this is just to remind me, is it going to be a prophecy or is it just him talking? Words from YV came through Jeremiah saying stand. This would have to be by the gate of YV's house. So that means our creator isn't talking to him. So I have to put it in first person and say it, my house. Okay. And do this. By the gate. And it's actually gates. There's two of them. That you'll find in Exodus when they built the tent for meeting for him. Okay. So this I gotta add, say green. This green. This remove. Prophecy from YV came through Jeremiah. Commanding me to, this is, I guess I gotta make a shortcut for this, or a macro. To me, stand by I could put stand by a gate for my house. But I'll leave it this way. Stand. Okay, so, and proclaim there this prophecy I say you are to hear, all of you in Judah. So this they're trying to add into. So if it's a 4-verse, I've got the 4-verse right here for the first one. And it does sound like that because these two hook together. And I like the word herald ever since I've figured that out. That's what happens when I've done these so many times. I've already done this text, but I'm doing it again to get it better. And that's what I'm seeing, that when I've learned a few things, when I've done these a few times, and my head keeps getting bigger and bigger with all the knowledge here, and the word herald would be a good word. Now, I know people are going to say, well, that's what is pretty much used as a king in another country or another kingdom would do, is to have a heralder. But I know John is to herald Jesus. So knowing that, I can come back here and say, I'm fine here with this. And this is a command from our Creator. And herald there this prophecy. This prophecy. I I say you are to, and I would say obey, and not so much just to hear. Okay, but I'm going to leave it here right now. And just because I'm thinking of something, I'll put this here. Now, to say you are to hear as all of you, no, this is as everyone. It's not good. This has got to be in Judah, the nation Judah. So here I will get rid of this, get rid of this. In the way I do Judah as a nation, so nobody can say they make the stuff up of on their own. I force the letters and have them coded that in small caps it means that they're the bad guys. When they're good under good kings, they get all capital letters. The same is true for Israel and the whole nation Israel the same way. So that now here, if it's at the gates of the house, who enters by these gates to worship YV. Now this, if this is talking about the priests now who enter by these gates, they aren't worshiping your to minister. Boy, is that wrong. But that's what that key is for. Um, minister or YV. This has to go up here. Amend your ways. Amend. Let's see what the concordance has for amend. Now this concordance is to help me find better words. And just like this, look at all these that I get to choose from. Because the word amend was only used 3 times, sometimes only once. Does once. Bless is used once. So what I do is I look for answer. And it's one to say amend your ways and your deeds. Means stop, reject, rebuke. So let me see if those words are in here. And I'm not seeing them. The best I see is reform. So I'm going to put my own word in here. The Hebrew text of the Bible has hidden formats. By revealing these formats, I will prove the first writer's words were hidden from you. These formats look like poetry as I group them. That should have not happened. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. Maybe I'm using right hand, left hand mouse and I did click that. So, okay. Meant to rebuke your ways. Now that means they were not onto our Creator, okay? So that means that they're corrupt priests, okay? Rebuke your ways means you have another practice of your life, okay? So I don't need your deeds. If you're get rid of your ways or your way for life, because this is the end of this. So this means who enter by these gates to minister for YV, rebuke your ways. Okay. Stop your, rebuke your, let me see what ways I know it's going to be or, oh yeah, like roads, distance, actions. Your acts. Does have acts, but only used once here. Acts. Your practice. I like the word practice better. Your but that's just not, practice is just one, but if I put acts means all, everything included. So I got to go back to acts because they were putting the idol of the female goddess in, and that isn't what I wanted. Not yet. I don't know if this is time for a Creator be talking or is it not? Rebuke your acts and your deeds to, you're not dwelling in this place. But this place, and we know the place is actually his house. Do not trust in deceptive words. Well, we can get rid of these because our house, a pagan place that they hold a idol, and it can be a full-bodied statue of their god. As you see that, we can go and look at Zeus's in Rome, and but we can get the word of what they do in a temple by understanding what happened at what Eli's sons did when they took the chest out of his tent, yeah, out of his tent, and took it to battle and lost it. And then when the Philistines took it and set it before their god, so, and then their idol fell down. So that's the definition of the word temple. Our Creator defined his tent is for meeting with him. He is literally going to meet with the priest. He is going to be shining as light above the mercy seat and speaking from the light to the priest. So, in your dreams to your ex, rebuke your ex, and I will let you. This is not dwell, would be live. But that's not reading the way it should. Why would our Creator be forgiving those that are evil? That's He's already rejecting what they, like those that were still coming to offer for their atonement for not obeying the 12 commandments. Our Creator condemned that is no good because the priests are no good. So, and He also blamed it on those people for not trying to correct them, that they think they're offering, it wasn't getting offered correctly. So, because people were literally supposed to kill those onto another god. At this time, these priests are unto another god. And your deeds in this place. Rebuke your acts. And I'm going to just skip this and see if this is going to be tossed out by finding you do not trust. And I'm trying to look to see if I can use any of these words to go into here. Sorry about the. Okay. You do not trust. You do not trust in deceptive words. Rebuke your acts and do not trust in deceptive words. You truly practice justice between Bill and his neighbor. Now this is telling me it's not the priest. Now it's the gates to Jude. This is not here. Minister is wrong. To tone to YV. So this would mean this is our creator's words. So atone to YV. Rebuke your acts. Now it's not reading right. It's this. This needs to be here. This is all gone here. This is not needed. This is not needed. Amend your ways. That has nothing to do with this next. And I will let you live. That's good. Okay. So that here and this here. And then this needs to be on the next one. But this here is all going to be thrown out. Okay. Who enter by these gates to atone to YV. I will let you live, but do not trust in their Okay. Not in this place. That's just not there. Do not trust their what's deceptive? False words. Let's see. Deceitful, deceiving words. I'd rather put deceiving. That fits a little bit better here. Deceiving or lies. Do not try. It's got to be deceiving because they don't know that they're lying. So deceiving. And there's a big difference in the spelling, as you noticed. I need the V, okay? Words. Saying, vowing. Or swearing this is. To swear this. Yeah, I need the word to here. To swear this is to, so it's going to be, they got to imply it's them. So your temple for YV. Okay, now that's how they're deceiving and entering the word temple. By swearing, by It's not swearing. They're telling you by do not trust their deceiving words by them saying, so I can get rid of this. By them saying, this is your temple for YV. Okay. For if you truly practice. Now, this is one of the times where I'm going to leave the word if. It's a very small. I use if and then sometimes to mean two major words. But here, I need the word if, but I can't really throw it out. That's the problem here. So I need it, and then it violates the two word law way I find these things. But this is, I have to leave that. That happens from time to time. Most of the time I get to use, I'll say now, and I'll put it as a italic word, and then you'll know that I added that. You truly practice. For if you truly man and this reads kind of funny, but between man and your neighbor. Between stranger and your neighbor. Stranger would be one walking through, but it can't be man. Man meaning man, female, but the thing here is that they are your neighbor. And your neighbor. Justice between, okay. If you truly I'm looking down here. Then I've got this verse here that needs to go up here. If you truly practice, it's got to be my justice. So, my justice with your neighbors. My justice with your neighbors. And do not oppress the stranger. So there we got the stranger back. I want to say bypasser, stranger. No. And do not oppress the stranger. If you truly practice that's really good. I like that. For if you truly practice my justice with your neighbors and do not oppress the stranger, widow or orphan or widow, and do not shed blood, or innocent blood. That would be speaking to those that are just against their way, and let's say that overzealous comes up and he starts condemning the priest there in front of him, and then the priests kill him just because they have the authority to do that. Orphan or widow, and do not shed innocent blood in this place, in this land, meaning Judah. Judah, no, that means those two are connecting together. Now, I got to find another two set. Nor walk, nor follow, not walk, follow after other gods that you live. Well, this is no land. I gave your forefathers. Usually, forefathers goes back all the way to the creation of Israel, forever and ever. This is not reading. Let's see. Those two connect together. Those two will connect together. So let me just put that so I'm not confused. And then I'm saying that this is separate. So I've got 1, 2, 1, 2, inner peace, let you live, do not trust their deceiving words. Then I've got these two mixed with this one. Now I've got this. So maybe that doesn't need to be there. I gave your forefathers forever and ever. A den of robbers again. Okay. Jesus used this sentence. So, yep, I'm going to have to. I'm going to move these down. Because this wants to. I'm looking for a verse to go with this. And let you live on this place I gave your fathers. Now, this is one about how they're treating people. And now, could he be talking about the priest? Well, I'm just going to put this here real quick. I'm reading it, jumping back and forth. I gave to your fathers forever and ever, nor are you to follow after another God. But you are trusting, not follow after other gods, that the priests are trusting with deceptive words, and I don't need this words here. Thinking that's what I'm going to do is I'm going to combine this, then just say here, moved to verses here, and here, move 2 verses down. And then that's lined up, so you'll be able to find it. And this becomes 1 here, nor forever and ever. Nor follow after other gods. That your priests are trusting. Now this is definitely this. Now why did I do that? Okay. Now I'm going to explain that before I get into deceptive words. Going back to this timeline. Notice how the king here has no large capital letter to begin with it, because that's one way I designate whether this king is a bad king or not. This guy, he became king, I think, at the age of 12, okay? And what the priest talked him into was their practice onto a female goddess. And that's kind of what you're hearing about other gods, and why I'm putting the word priest, because when he made his idol of his goddess, he put it into our Creator's meeting room, as well as others when we hear about the prophecy from Ezekiel. But the thing here is this means the priests were definitely corrupt at this time, and it is Manasseh here that's full-fledged, because this is a good king, but they probably started infiltrating in here because there are warnings, and then they are full-fledged in there, and he's got his own priest in there now, and he's kicked out everyone. This is a good king. Somewhere after a couple years, he reassigns all the new priests and kicks out the old ones, okay? So that's why he's a good king. And then his son and his son after him, they went away from our Creator. But I just want you to make sure that you know why the priests can be proven that they're corrupt. They also put like an altar for the horse god and things like that. I don't know what else they put in off the top of my head, but that's what they done in there. So nor follow after other gods that your priests are trusting. By their deceptive words. What did I put up deceiving here? By their deceiving words to you. So he is finally getting around to talk about how bad the priests are. So now again, well, this might be because, let's see, where is it? Because when they fall away, they would have had that again. So it could have been Jeremiah at this time, under this king after a couple years, that he decided that he was wrong. His dad was wrong. So, but I know under this king, definitely. So it might be more to this king than that king. I'm always trying to put a timeline on the words so I can correct the text correctly. So, the priests are trusting in their deceptive words. Now, if I put they offer sacrifice, because their sacrifice is the offering itself, and they're going to do it on the altar, and then they're going to roast it and eat it. And their offer and their offerings are sacrifices. And Baal would be really, truly as Ra, the sun god. And we can learn that in the 1611 preface. So here, I'm going to correct it. They are sacrificing to Ra and follow. Now he's going to call them out. Follow after. So yeah, okay, I can get rid of the word offering and put they, because we know who they are now, the priests. They are sacrificing. And that's probably going on inside the courtyard where nobody can see. Okay. To Ra, to follow after other gods you have not known. Okay, so that's 4. But this needs another verse then. And I don't know if this has actually got a verse missing, because these two hook together really well. Follow after the gods, this here, and then he tells them what they're doing. So that's a rare occurrence that they're doing this, but it's the importance that he's telling them what they're doing, which is more important. So I'm going to say that these have to be there together. These two are letting the people know what's going on inside. Other gods you have not known. Okay. You do not know. You do not know. Then they come and stand before me. So the priest part is right, because if it's continuing, the story is continuous. So. And this can't be this house. In my room is meeting room. And actually meeting that house, but room. That they call on my name. Yes, that's where they do this. Okay. So I can definitely say I got this right. Then they come and stand before me in my meeting room to call out or to call if they're doing it for another god, they ain't calling it to his name. To call his name or their names, gods. Hope you're learning something. I know that I really put out some new things every time I do with these videos that you might not know. And sooner or later, you're going to know them, I hope. Then they come and stand before me in my meeting room to call their names, other gods. They follow after other gods. Now that sounds like that's the second part. Okay. I'm going to take this verse with all the editing, and I can see that's different. That's what I want there. But now, for you are not to follow. For you do not. For you do not follow after. Now this is going to get a T, get rid of that, added that, added this. Now it's hooking together really good. I will let you live in this place and land I gave your forefathers forever, for you do not follow after other gods that your priests are trusting. Oh man, no, that hooks together way too good now. Okay, now this is going to get split here, and these two are going to become one group, and then this moves come. Okay, sorry about that. I get excited a little bit when I can really get them reading really smooth. That's really, because the smoother I can get them to read, the faster you say these words, that when other words pop up and they don't have that rhythm that you're speaking by, that's when you know either I found a piece and put it there or this is changing writers and it goes someplace else. So they tell you you are delivered. Okay, now see their practice on to the female goddess. They become gods. And then they go to ascend into heaven, which is the stars. Okay, now you gotta remember this is 3,000 years ago. Well, at least 2,500 right now, maybe 26. But the thing here is that's what's going on. Yeah, maybe it is longer than that. But the thing here is we have text here that is trying to talk about how they are delivered, where we have a Savior, Jesus, who's going to allow us into heaven if he forgives us. That's how we enter heaven. They have no concept of that. That's why they've rejected and overwritten all these rules, or all the laws, is for their gods and how their belief, and not so much the first writers' writings. They had no concept on this. way our Creator has actually appeared in talking with man. And said, "You." But then again, all that talk, and I'm not seeing it because it says calling in meeting room, and then I can see down here. Now this, now, that's where I have to use the word now. Now my meeting room to, my meeting room has become a den of robbers in my sight. Here he's saying I've seen it. I can put it in here. They can't see this going on. There's a fenced courtyard that's supposed to be from the ground up 10 cubics, which is about 16 feet high. So they can't just walk and see what's going on, let alone inside the meeting room where nobody is supposed to be, but except for the higher priest. So, and I don't need the word now. I have my meeting room here's the word has become a den of robbers in my sight. And this means this is not needed. These abominations in my meeting room in my meeting room, I like that, has become a den of robbers in my sight. So, and then this is done. That was a good group. So this is the space where there's supposed to be two. These abominations. Now, this is a good way for all the text here that's being said, defines what the word abominations are. Okay. Now that I've got that I'm thinking as a perfect definition, I need now to redo all the abominations, searching it and then making sure they're changed. And this is Jeremiah defines abominations in, this is 7, I'll say 9 through 11. Okay. That's very important to me. Now, this is why when you read the word abominations, what it is, it's definitely the bad guys calling upon their God in his meeting room. Okay. No, this doesn't need here. Okay, now see, see what I did to it. Now, there is text missing, okay, literally. When we go from Joshua, who divides out the promised land, there's no news until we have Eli. And right off in Eli, you can tell that the 10 tribes have already created their own nation away from the 2 tribes for Judah. Or it could be the 3 tribes going across to the promised land. I'm not going to get into that, although I got this, which would be Reuben over here. Because actually, they encamped around our Creator by the 3 eldest, and then the next 3 eldest, and then the next 3 eldest, and then the next 3 eldest, and this being East and West Manasseh. This is where I think Levites would have been born at. Okay, but the object is that three across is how it would have been divided. So Judah might have had this included at that time. Okay, and that time was here, and I don't know how many years it is. This I done 10 years ago, I think. This chart here, maybe not that long ago, but I couldn't determine, so I put 300 plus years that the judges are missing, because you figure they're going to be very obedient and then they're going to fall away. So just to do generations, maybe it could be 240 years. Okay, I use a generation as 60 years old, but it needs the full 60 as that one male's lifetime, and then the next 60. So they're all overlapping, but the object is it become this span of time that I know that's missing. Now, when it talks about here, we know it is a tent for meeting still, okay? Because down here, David is going to move that from Shiloh to Jerusalem. Now, Shiloh, it doesn't mean that the tent of meeting was actually in Shiloh. What it means is that Shiloh was the city for the priest and those that were coming in to make an offering. And the location I have is here based on our Creator's hidden formats. So you won't see this on other maps, but when they came through Jericho and they defeated Jericho, then they come up the hill here. And I'm thinking that, I know that the story is that they went down here and defeated them here, they went up here and defeated them, then they went here to defeat them, and then they went upwards. Well, that would mean that the best protection location our Creator would have just rested at would have been here. Now, the story about how close it is to Bethel, to Jerusalem, to Jericho, those also help as well. But what it is it's a city for people and the priests. The house or the tent would have been maybe a half mile away, because burning meat is smelly. And then taking the hides and then throwing, they probably would have kept the hides to make things from them, but our Creator says they shouldn't, that everything other than the muscles that show the action of the sin from the sacrifice is to be thrown off, way off in the background. Now, that means that wild animals are going to be there. They're going to have vultures coming in all over the place. I don't think they have text that it's going to be burnt, but it might be burnt. But that's what I'm trying to say, is that this odor just can't be really close to this city. So now you know that the tent was never in Shiloh. And you see what I did to it. Well, actually, we don't have any stories of what he did in those, from those missing years. So what I do is I kind of say that that didn't happen because I know it still exists at David's time, okay, and at Eli's time. So, which was in Shiloh, which was by Shiloh, where I made my name dwelt at first. Dwelt means live, and our Creator did not live there. But the text seemed to say that. Because of the wickedness of my people Israel. Okay, well, that's... Oh, I'm getting the idea of the... Now that it's like... Well, it's... The city Shiloh is in Jerusalem, or is in Israel. And Israel has been taken captive. So now go look to my... Now go now. Now go to... Go now. Now go to my place that was by Shiloh. Now go to, not my, the place that was Shiloh. Where was my tent? Where was my tent? Dwell would be tent now. Where was my tent? At first in C. Hello, everyone. Yep. We've got, I'm sorry. I got people in both chats. Here I really just concentrating on my text here. So, by the way, 7, Diggs by the way, 7, howdy. Chantella, I can't, and I'm sorry. I'm no good at names. I really am. I'm embarrassed. You embarrassed me with your good name there. How you doing? Welcome. Let me show you what I'm doing here. I guess if I put up this and cover me, this is the text that I've done from other books, and I'm trying to find the hidden formats of the first writers, clean them up, and get to a text that I'm compiling into one book. And what you're seeing is I'm kind of working backwards. So you'll find all the small prophets or the short books from the prophet within that list. Some of them prophets go before David, but I haven't added Daniel. I've done Daniel, but let me show you the formats that I'm finding here in Jeremiah. Jeremiah has what you can see here is this kind of a sentence that has a comma on it, and then there's a period, and it becomes like a longer sentence. And then that repeats until it becomes a small paragraph, and then it repeats. But the only thing is these two paragraphs can make a larger paragraph. So I divide the text a little bit farther to note that. This is a 4-verse format. If I go up, here, you can see I've got a 3-verse format. This is going to be a statement. And then this is going to be like a comma at the end and then a period to connect together. And this describes the statement, okay? So that's what's unique about the 3-verse format. It's very beautiful when you start realizing how sophisticated this format is. And again, small paragraph, 2 together, make a small paragraph. Actually, this is what's known as a psalm. Write in psalms and have new psalms to sing, okay? If you have any other question, let me know, or you can listen to me as I will continue editing here. I will leave that on the side screen for right now, and then that way you can screenshot it there and have it, because I haven't got my website up. I don't have it uploaded with the latest and greatest. Working on that. At the first and see what I did to it because of the wickedness of my people Israel. And my people in Israel is the correct word, but it's not his people. We are Jesus's subjects because we are going to live in his kingdom, because he is going to forgive us to allow us into heaven. So this has to be Jesus here. And then I got to get rid of this and add this, because of the wickedness of his people in Israel. But that's a perfect 3-verse, except for if I take this, that's a 4-verse, then that's not 4-verse. So did I miss something here in this one? Nope. What I did to it, because of the wickedness of my people in Israel, his people in Israel, that done these too. Now, if you've been listening to me, this defines what an abomination is. The priests are taking and making sacrifices inside the courtyard to a god named Ra, the sun god Ra. And they're following after other gods. And the text is that Jeremiah's to talk to the people by his house, the people going by, and then he's telling them what's going to go on in the inside. So he's talking to them, and then he's going to start talking to the priest here and tell them what they've done. And now he's saying about what was done in Shiloh. Well, Shiloh, according to the timeline I've got, it was gone. Let's see, Shiloh was in Dan, or in Benjamin. So it would have been after, but this is Assyria had come and took these first, and then Assyria had come down the second time and took these. So what happens here is that it is recent that he's done this. And what it means, he didn't save it, and people were saying he saved it. I'm just trying to put an idea in my head of how he wants those that he's telling, not the priest, but he's telling them, the bypassers, remember Shiloh, even though it was his, where his tent was at first, in C, which means, have you seen what's going on there? What I did to it because of their wickedness, and it would have been evilness. When you're against our Creator, it's evilness. In other words, they aren't obeying the 12 commandments. So let me show you here what I mean by 12 commandments. When you actually study the text in Exodus 21 through 17, we have 12 commandments. And this is the agreement that our Creator spake to the people he had just brought out to create his nation. They had this agreement that if they obeyed these 12 and tried to atone for themselves for not obeying these 12, they were to bring a sin offering. So these are the sins, and there's only 12 of them. Now, what happens is that this agreement is if you go on to another Creator and serve willingly, okay, then the agreement was in the text below is that he's going to cast them out from the land. For you to know that he's going to cast them out. So this is evilness because it's against our Creator to be on to another God. So wickedness just doesn't get it. Wickedness is something you would do against your neighbor. There's only so many words that I have that I can use to represent the same meaning every time you read those words, and that's what I'm doing. I'm really, really, out of the, I think, 150,000 words when it gets put together, it's all organized then. So because of their evilness. Their evilness. No, the evilness of, I guess I went too fast, too quick here. The evilness by his people in Israel. This is the nation Israel, so I make it bold in all small caps when they're evil. And that way nobody can change the meaning on that word. All capital letters, which is as high as these words, means that Israel was good at that time. Now this has to be one long sentence for me to actually get to what I want. By his people Israel done these two. So I want to get rid of that, this, done these. See, they got things. I'm going to just use the word two, because I can't get away without using the word these. And that is to describe what he's just said up here. So that becomes very good. And I forgot to make that a space. Oh, wait a minute. I just said how good those are in C. So this has to be, now I got to find text that's actually saying something like what he did up there to the people by sending them away. See, now the text is so far away from what's being said, this is just not useful. Now, does it mean that I'm missing this next verse or group? Very well could be. They didn't do us any favors, but I can find enough like that to say, okay, let's move on and see what else I can find. No, it's going to. I will do to this house. Okay. Okay, so, but it doesn't need the word therefore. I will do to, it has to be this house. Okay, and I'm adding this word. I will do that. And what it must have been is that city that was there got burnt down. Okay. And that's what they did. That's the only reference I can make to explain what's going to happen to his house, because they are going to burn his house. They aren't going to tear it down block by block. That comes after Jesus dies by his body dies on the cross. But this doesn't happen. I will do that to this house, which, okay, burned it. And cast you out of my sight. We know his house is called by his name, so we don't need to repeat that. To which you trust, you do to that to this house. But the house is not the city. The city is the one that got burnt. So this, he's already describing that he's going to burn it. So this and this are out, which I gave, and your fathers also did in Shiloh. That is, I can't use that. Now, hopefully I can get something that keeps continuing the story here. I will do that to this house and cast you out, and cast them, because he's been talking about the priests. So it has to be them he's going to cast out. Because he's told them that you can live when he's talking to the you people. So we'll cast them out from my sight. Now this green, this goes like this. And I hope you've got enough screenshots there. I'm going to pull that down. And I will cast them out of my sight. Okay, that reads, because that's what he did. He had it burnt, and then they took him away as captives. And I will cast them out of my sight. As I cast out all your brothers. Now, Ephraim was one that went. Ephraim was actually the good guys way back when. They warned them what was going on in East Manasseh, that they're starting to go away. And East Manasseh was the first piece of the promise, or Moses's promised land to the tribes, not our Creator's promised land. Our Creator's promised land is west of the Jordan River. Moses gave them for their inheritance on the east side. So big difference and a lot of meaning from all the text if you understand that. So I have cast out all your brothers, as I have cast out all your brothers. Now that makes a 4-verse grouping. Now, do not pray for this people. Do not lift up a cry or pray for them. And do not intercede with me, for I do not hear you. No, he's telling them not to do this, because if they do this, he's going to hear them anyway. But the object is he's already warned them. This has to be you are not to. When you pray, the word pray means the act of what you look like when you pray. Either you have your hands folded, spread wide apart, whether you're standing or kneeling. Your prayer is your words that you're speaking. You're talking to our Creator. If you're asking our Creator, you're petitioning our Creator. You are not to petition me. You are not to petition me for those people. For those people, and not lift up and not lift up a outcry. I'm pretty sure that's how I want that to be. Or this can't be. I just told you, you talk to our Creator, and they're at a petition, what a petition is. So with is you pray for them to me. And me would be the second subject of this verse. So now that, better save the text. Okay. So this here, like I said, it doesn't need it because he's now going to say, because I told you not to do this, it is because do you not see what they are doing in the cities for Judah? Oops, I don't see Judah there, so this is for Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem. No, and I would have to put the word even here. I when I'm reading it is like well, if I put their children gather wood, he's talking about, do you see what's going on? So are you observing even their children the way I'm seeing this? Even their children gather the wood for their fathers for the fathers to kindle, which means to start. And that means the smaller twigs, by the way. So you know this, how, just for you to get a visual on how small the children are that are running around helping dad, and their fathers to start, or to start. It's got to be a fire. This has got to go up here. A fire for their wives. I've got fathers, I need wives. A fire for their wife, fathers, wives. So this is gray. And This has got to be their daughters, not women. Their daughters need got to include the whole family here. Maybe it's sons here. Gather wood with their brothers and fathers to start a fire, where their wives and daughters need dough. That's what's missing. So if I do this, even their children gather the wood with their brothers or their father. Whoops, what happened? Oh, wrong keyboard. Brothers for their fathers to start a fire. These two go together. Yep. These two are going to go together real nice. Their father and daughters that have needed the dough for making cakes for the Queen of Heaven in heaven. And this is not, this has to be represented with a capital H, meaning the stars. Okay? So now this means I got this here. And they pour out libations. They pour out libations, and I think that's just oils. This is down 19. It says a drink offering, and they pour out wine. Surely aren't going to pour out water. And to Queen of Heavens, I gotta put them there, and this is kind of unique to understand the order of what they do. And then they pour out wine to other gods. They are, in order to spite me. They aren't doing it on purpose. They don't even recognize our Creator. So that wouldn't be true. This can't be true either, then. And this, he's already talking. Other gods. But not for themselves. But for their own shame. This pouring out and being onto another god is not for themselves. It is for themselves. And their own shame. And their own shame. So I got that, I believe, right. So what am I missing here to get this? It is not themselves. It is themselves they spite. What is the secular definition for the word spite? Meaningless. Yes. Meaningless. Meaningless. I would say meaningless. So let's see. Meaningless. Meaningless, I guess. I'm adding the whole word here. So for themselves, it is meaningless. And their own shame. Okay. Now, if I can just repeat what I just said, I'll edit it that way. For themselves, it is meaningless. For themselves, it is meaningless and their own shame. Okay, because they don't recognize the Creator. They're just stupid. No. Now, now I have to use the word now here instead of the word behold. So this is now my anger, or maybe soon my anger. Yeah, soon. This has to be soon. my anger, and my wrath will be poured out on them and on this. I don't know if I should make that as a city. I am the city. Soon my anger and my wrath will be poured on them. And I say, as their Lord, meaning the title is a provider. He is providing even evilness to people, for people, or yeah. This, as their Lord, soon my anger and my wrath will be poured on them and on this city. Very cool. Very cool. Now that is a 2 group. Now, on to the next 2. Now, see, this is reading different, but this isn't needed. There's not enough there. So, what I've got here, though, is like being said as a starting of another prophecy. Let's see, or another talking to the people. Or is it a continuing of his conversation with the people? I got to remember all this stuff. It's just not easy to do that. So what I've got to do here is, thus says YV. Our reader, our creator of Israel. Now this needs to be, this would be all caps, bold. So it's got to be, it'll look like this, meaning the nation of Israel when it comes out. It would be, this was prophesied, I think, is what's going to happen. Was yeah, it's going to be a prophecy because it's coming down that he's going to get rid of them again. Now, I don't know how many times this goes on, but it's going to go on an awful lot in Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, because these books have like 60 chapters to them. Thus was prophesied. by this was prophesied by our Creator of Israel. They take your offerings from your sacrifice and eat it. Just like Eli's sons. Whoops. They take completely opposite of what it's supposed to be. They take, because he's explaining this to the people. So far, that's pretty much what was been done so far in this chapter. And it has to be they take. They take your offering of your sacrifice. They take your offering from your sacrifice and eat it. I did not command or command them on that day. I did not speak or command them in that day. Okay. For I did not speak to, this would be the priests that are doing it, to their forefathers. For I did not speak to their forefathers or command them in I'm going to put their days, S on days. Command them in their days. I brought them out of the land for Egypt. Okay. And in their days, considering your sin offerings, from your sacrifice. And this, I don't need that. And now I got better. Obey his commandments, and I will be your Lord, and you will be my people, and you will live and you'll live by the way I commanded you. Be well. Okay. Now if this here is being said, and he's talking to them about what is they're doing and what I told them their forefathers to do, to where I commanded them, saying, don't need this word. I commanded for your wellness. Well, that's actually a blessing. So I commanded you for your, I'm going to put blessing. It's, no, this is what I commanded them, saying. This would him be saying what he said back then. Obey my commands. But it's really commandments. That's the agreement. So it has to be commandments and statutes. So and my camera, because this is including circumcision and celebrating the passing over. Those were supposed to be as a must do, and obey my statutes and commandments. For I am your creator. For I am your He created Israel. He's telling him I created you. Okay. Using the right title is very important. Now that and you are and you will be his people. You'll be his people by living. Okay, it's getting rough here. Now it's kind of like these are easy edits. By living by all. By living all of them. This here is the commandments, so or the statutes and being summed together. And you will be his people in all of them. All of them. Mm. The way I commanded them, forefathers, by the way, by the way I commanded them, for their blessing, for their blessing, and yours. Yours. I think that's that's an important word to keep that verse going. So now, yet they do not, yet you are not obeying or inclining. Not inclining and listening with. They, the priests, do not obey. Your priests do not obey. Your priests do not obey or listen with their ear. Walk by their own counsel and stubbornness. Well, I got to find now the next one. For the evil heart, for their hearts are evil. That's falling back into Egypt's practice of gods, which is kind of what they did. You can even tell in the Vatican's courtyard there's a Egyptian obelisk. So yeah, I got to find a second with this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the word heart here and add that here. Put the word by right now here first. By their, okay. I don't know what I did that. It needs just S. By their evil hearts. They went backwards. It's the days of your forefathers. By their evil hearts, they went backwards. Not since, but before the day forefathers. This has to be before, not since. It's the practice that was in Egypt. So by their evil hearts, they went backwards before the days. And I can put the word like here, like before the days. And I'm going to have to make a macro, I guess. I got to like before the days. Once their forefathers came out. Okay. Now I got to have two more here. From the land of Egypt until today, I have sent them, my servants and prophets. From the land of Egypt, so this, from the land of Egypt until today, today, I have sent them. I have to put the word them here. And all has got to mean the word like many. I have sent them many. I added that, so I've sent them many. It's, how does, you can't say servants. Okay, if I do this, put the word servant, my servants after, that becomes more clear. I have sent them many prophets, my servants. Okay. They didn't do that daily, so I guess I don't need that. I've got enough here, I guess. But they did not listen to me. They stiffen their neck. And did more evil, or did evil more. Yeah, I guess I'm reading that. I need to correct that. And did more evil. Did more evil than their fathers, which would have been most recent. Forefathers, I really go back in generations with that word. Yet they did not listen to me, but stick from their neck. And did more evil than their fathers. Boy, this has only got like 40 verses, and I'm already 2 hours. Oh, 2.5 hours. Ooh. Let's see. How am I doing on YouTube? I usually get kicked off, so let me put that down. Where am I here? Nope, that ain't me. That's me here. Hey, I'm still excellent. Well, it's usually about now that they kick me off, so I better keep that there. You are to. This is almost like it's the first time he's talking to Jeremiah, because you're to speak every or to herald. You are to herald every all my words. Well, I guess I gotta use that. I rarely use this word all. And you are to herald all these words to them. For you will call to them. And the subject would be you. It's pretty much Jeremiah. For you will call to them, but they will not listen. Not listen to you is up here. But if I put as here, but they will not listen to you as you call to them. But you are to say, this is the other nation that did not obey. Now this, how do I do this? This is, hear all other words, listen, you will call to them, but you are to say to them, this is the nation that does not obey. Words from YV. Can't have it past tense. You're to say to the nation. You are to say to the nation that does not obey. The command from their creator. Or accept my will, or follow my will. This needs to be a 2. Truth has been. Truth I think it was Ezekiel that cut his hair into three, and then said one into captivity, one here, and famine on another. So, or famine upon the people. But this is not going to be there. Not perish my truths. Oops. My truths are lost. My truths are lost. To be not cut off, but to be removed. From your mouth. Because you got to remember, he's talking to both people at the same time, and I've got to, that's what the priest did, and now it's back to them. Now, because I've made this so much first person right now that I got to keep going with it. So now, he would say the word I if he's supposed to say every word exactly true. So that is name. So I will, yeah, it has to be will. It's not going to happen exactly like today. So I will reject. Mistaken. I will object and rebuke. No, I will reject and rebuke. Your generation. Now here again, I told you what they did up above was doing this. There's this stuff. These are The gods' idols, their figurines of their gods in his house. And this has to be in my meeting room. We learned that from above, so it'll stay here. They've set their gods. They have not set, they have placed. Let's see here. I only need one group out of this. So I can't say that this is going to be needed. I just can read it without it. They have placed their gods in my meeting room. That would be enough to say, to break that. For my wrath is for the descendants in Judah have done that which is evil in my sight. This has to be my wrath is on Judah. My wrath is for Judah, having done evilness. If he's saying it, he doesn't need to say it's in his sight. Wrath is for I'm going to put the word Jews here. Jews is the word that I use that they're against our Creator. My wrath is for Jews. They have done or they do well, it can't be that hard. My wrath is for the Jews, having done or doing evilness, or have done evilness. Not that he's punished them for then, it's punish them later. So it's evilness. They done did it. Now I can put the word for. They placed their gods in my meeting room. They have built the high places. We don't need this because it's such a hill country. We wouldn't know what specific valley. There's all kinds of valleys here. So that I think they're trying to sneak in. And we know that this is what they defiled, so that's out. So I built a, oops. So they built high places. Built a high place. That seems like it's the name of a god here. Places for this. So what is this? I bet you it's going to be a city. They place south of Jerusalem. So it is saying it's a city and built. Built. And they have built a high place, or it's a temple. They built a temple in a place by Thinking that's what I've got here. And have built them, them, them high places in. Okay, it just took me an hour to get that. So, and I'm just going to put cities because cities, they did this in all the cities. So, might as well make sure that they're not just in one place. In your cities to burn isn't true. My place is in your city. I did not command you. I did not command them. Did not come into my mind. Therefore, behold, days are coming when it will be no more. Declared by me, so prophesied by me. Okay. Guess I can do this, go like this, go here, and make this a long one. This has got to be his. Behold, your day is coming. Their day, behold, their day is coming. And telling his other people, his, or Jesus's, to flee. Behold, their day is coming by me. It will be no more. Uh, a what? If I got it as cities. But let me see if I can find something else. Hmm. Um, Behold, the day is coming as prophesied by me. As prophesied by me, it will no more be called your cities. Now I've got a little bit more adjustment here. Behold, their days are coming as prophesied by me. They will be no more. Be no more. Nor no more. No, they will be no more. Calling them our cities. Coming out of the prophesied me. Will be more. No more. Are coming as prophesied by me. They will be no more called their cities. They took over. That's right. So they called their cities. They will be no more called their cities. Because up here, I've got cities, built high places in their cities. I didn't command them, but behold, the days are coming, prophesied. They will be no more called their cities. Okay. Oh, I only got a little bit more here to go. So I'll finish it and screen bit is too low. Okay. Still remains excellent. Although I can't, for they will bury in, because there is place, no other place in the dead bodies of those people. Food. This is and for the beasts of earth, this people will be food for the birds and beasts of earth. Those people will be food for birds and beasts of the earth. The dead bodies of those, yeah, I'm going to need that. And the dead bodies of those people. Okay. For they will not, for they will not be buried in a grave. For they will not be buried in a grave. Or in this, or in the cities, because there is no other place. Oh, so this means this goes here, this goes here. There is no other place. And the dead bodies, those people. Okay, so that's for they will not be buried, and then it's come down here. So this has to be 2, and then this has to be, this is connecting with this here. So, for they will not be buried in a grave. Or by a city. Or by a city, because there is no place, there is no other place. And the dead bodies of those people. Okay. So now that means hopefully this is the second part here, and I'm going to put a second part here because I'm pretty sure those connect really well. Okay. No one will frighten them away. That's wrong. Dead bodies laying all over the place. Unless this is talking about Babylon come down and no one will frighten them away, then I'll make to cease in the cities of Judah and the streets of Jerusalem. Voice of joy, the voice of the groom, the voice of bride. The land will become ruined. Well, I got the wrong word here. It should be one when I'm talking about a people or a person. And no one, that doesn't make sense. Oh, it's talking about the beast will frighten them away. So that, okay, now I got that. So that hooks with that. Then I'll make the cities of Judah and the streets of Jerusalem a land ruined. Because this, just out. a land ruined. I will make it's got to be people will cease people will cease people will be gone, cease, gone from the cities for Judah, and from the streets for Jerusalem, for the land. That's just what I was going to put in. For the land will be ruined. There. I think that's good enough for today, or for this one. I'll be on a little later tonight. So I try to stream 2 times a day because there's 60 chapters in these. So I've got myself on a schedule right now. And hopefully, if I stay to that schedule, my hands don't burn from doing all the editing. So now time for a cleanup. And that didn't work because I got lines in the text. So I got to start all over again. But it did take quite a bit out. Took all the 8-point out. Now, try that again. Okay. That's supposed to help take care of some of the missing text in between. Since I moved that up, that's a reminder. This I need as a smaller one. It was supposed to do that, but and then I got 2 of them here and here. Okay, that's good. I need 2 little ones here. One here. 1, 2 here. Since I did this. doesn't need to be here now. And this has to have 2 to get down here. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 1, 2. Whoops. 2. And then this has to come up to be 1. One, 2. Ah, that's good. 1, 2. 1. Don't need that. I need 2. Now, if you've listened to me, you've learned all the meanings of these words as well. The words are defined specifically, meaning specific things. So now you can actually explain to people more what you're reading when you're reading it. So that's taken your belief to a trust, that you now trust these words, that I keep telling people that's my job. I'm here to prophesied by Jesus to tell the truth about our Creator and Jesus. So you can see by everything that I do know, He's trained me well. So let's see, 1. Whoops, I need to get, because I still need this text to follow along so people can backwards edit or see what I did. So this is pretty much for history reasons, in case people want to come back and find out why I did what I did and have an explanation for why I did, which will probably really be studied to see if they can change a word. But that shouldn't happen. If I left it there, I left it for a reason that way. And this, how come I did that? Oh, I didn't go down one. Well, this has to be 2. This, and I'm seeing that I don't know, because no, these two are really connected well, so that's good. Because then that means this got 2, those are together, these are together, and like that. Then I better save my work. And what you're seeing here, the more I come out, you can see how these are grouped together. And right now, oh, I didn't finish. I got in a hurry. I was just going to say, and there's nothing, no text missing yet. Here's text that's going to be missing. And I'm thinking it'll be below it, because the cities are ruined, and then it should have, for the people be taken away into captivity to the land north. Right now, don't know that, but this when you see it, you can see that that's kind of unique to be able to see if something is missing by understanding the format. So, but I'm just checking to see if they're all two grouped, and trying to put an ending on this video. And that way, yes, I still have some more work, some more to put in here. And I will try to show this in the next video, this text. So if I was scrolling too fast, sorry about that. But this is more or less for those in the future. So.